Hello everybody and welcome back to Man in the House. Yes, it is Fitness Fridays. We back again. I'm taking you through my weight loss journey on Nutrisystem for Men. As you can see, I'm in the same shirt. Y'all see the shorts later as the week 1 video because this is week 4 and this is the week you get the updated photos for how I look after 4 weeks on Nutrisystem for Men. I'm going to get into the details of how much I've lost in that 4 weeks in just a minute, but lots of stuff to cover on the show today. We're going to be talking about what worked and what didn't work, or where I had challenges over the last week as normal. Also going to be doing a fantastic recipe. It is a brisket chili garnished with some jalapeno peppers. I can't wait to make it and to eat it, to show you guys what it's like. But then also, I got some more things to talk about, y'all. I got a subject that we'll talk about as we start to get into the cooking portion of the show as well. And that subject is, when is it the appropriate time to allow the person that you're dating to meet your children? We'll talk about that in the eating portion, but let's get to what worked, what didn't work last week. The diet, I mean, it's not, here's what I'm gonna call it. This, for me, Nutrisystem for Men, is a way for me to learn how to eat better. So I don't want to call it a diet because it's not a short-term thing. Somebody suggested in the comments to, they asked me whether or not I was going to go back to eating normal after I lost my weight. Well, of course not. I ain't going through all this to go back to what I was and to look like what I was. So this for me is more of a way of learning how to eat better, how to eat more healthy. And it's a journey of transitioning my eating habits to something that's healthier. And it's been a fantastic learning curve up front, I'll tell you. I had a lot of things to kind of get over from a learning curve perspective, learning how to eat on the program, what I can grab, what I couldn't, managing my snacks and prepping my stuff ahead of time. And last week was no different. Here's what I encountered last week. So last week I had 2 opportunities for dining out. And it is something that I really didn't do a whole lot of over the first 3 weeks of the program. And so here's some of the things that I learned and experienced while dining out. And I think it's important to share with you guys because you're going to be in this situation. And it may be with family or it may be with friends, but you really got to control the emotion around what happens. And I'm going to explain it to you now. So when you're going out to eat, this is my tip, because this is what I experienced. When you go out to eat, you know how it is. You with your family, you with your friends. The waiter drops off the menus. Everybody's perusing the menu, and for the most part, they're done long before you're done. Because not only are you trying to find something healthy on the menu, you're also trying to find how many calories it is, and you're just looking for a lot more detail in what you're going to be putting into your body at that moment. And because they're not in the same journey or on the same path, it becomes kind of a stressor because, everybody's done, they're ready to order, and you still like, man, really, I don't know what to get, because sometimes the calories aren't on the menu, or the ingredients on the menu, you really like checking, well, should I eat that? Should I not eat that? And so it's something to get over. And I mention it because we all have sort of like social things, social anxieties and stressors to get over. And when you're in that situation and the waiter comes back and everybody's ready to order and you're not ready to order, here's my advice to you. Don't worry about it. Let everybody else order. When you're comfortable and you're ready to order, then order. Okay? Don't feel under pressure to just pick something randomly that you think might be healthy. Take your time. Be comfortable with just being you. give yourself a break in understanding that this is a new thing that you're doing, and you're trying to figure out what to pick, healthy or not, or healthy on the menu, and just give yourself some time. Don't feel overwhelmed, and don't feel that pressure to get it done quickly because everybody else is done. Forget about all that. Be you. Think about yourself. Put yourself first when in that moment, and most importantly, try to avoid it at all costs. And this is the way you do it. So if you know you're going to go out and maybe you haven't picked a restaurant or whatever, take that time to pick the restaurant, peruse their menu ahead of time, and take a look at Nutrisystem.com/leaf, so that you can get an idea of what you should be ordering and what you shouldn't be ordering. They also have 10 foods that you should absolutely stay away from, some tips on, things to not get on your salad that add calories, stuff like that. So do your homework first, get your menu items up front together, and then get you a little list together of what to tell the waiter. So one of the things that I encountered was, you get there, you order it, and then after you got it, you find out there's stuff on there that you can't eat, so you start picking through, I didn't want those, I can't eat those, and now you're picking away your salad or you're picking away whatever. So pay attention to the ingredients and do your homework up front so that you can ask the waiter to not include those things. Also, be comfortable with asking, how the veggies are prepared, because just because you order nice quality vegetables and all of that other things for your health and for your eating habit doesn't mean that they're prepared in the way that you would prepare them at home. So make sure you asked if they're going to be sauteed in oil, if they're going to be steamed, if they're going to be cooked in butter, etc., because those little hidden things can really blow what you thought was a healthy meal out of whack when it comes to the calorie count. So definitely, by all means, don't get stressed. Prepare ahead of time. So one of the biggest tips that I have learned through this whole process is making sure you're prepared at all times. That leads me into my second point, which is carry with you an alternative. You may be out with friends and you may get into a situation where you've gone to a restaurant and you really there was no time to plan. You didn't know you were going to go to the restaurant. All these things kind of come up, and it takes it takes a little bit of time to get on Leaf and to kind of go through what Leaf says that this restaurant chain has and what you might be able to eat from there that's healthy. So keep yourself a little cheat snack or something that you can eat and feel comfortable with and not be starving and get yourself in a situation where you're going to make a bad choice. Always have your backup snack on deck. Always, always, always have your backups ready to go. Carry yourself a little lunch pail with you, whatever the case may be. Those of y'all that saw us in St. Louis, y'all saw me with my big lunch pack. I had all of my Nutrisystem snacks and lunch and everything. It was all packed in there neatly and ready to go anytime I got hungry. Y'all saw me snacking. If you were there, you saw me snacking on some of the Nutrisystem snacks. And so it's just really about being prepared. That's like the biggest takeaway. And it's not just on Nutrisystem or Nutrisystem for men. It's really about preparing this process for life, because you're not just going out to eat. You're doing this to fuel your body, right? And in any other thing, you kind of prepare. When you're going to go to work out, you don't just go there haphazardly. You usually have a plan for what you're going to do. I'm going to do arms and back, or chest and back, or chest and shoulders, or whatever. You usually have an idea of what you're going to do in that workout for the day. The same thing goes for your food. Make sure you plan. Make sure you have it all together. It'll just make things so much easier, and it relieves a whole lot of anxiety in the ordering process, because if you can't find something, I was out the second place that I went. So the first place I went was the first place I went was Sweetie Pies, and we were out in St. Louis. We had an awesome time. You guys showed us a lot of love. And so we were out at Sweetie Pies, my wife and Zaddy, or Dalvin and Darius. And I was literally in the buffet line, and I saw the baked chicken, and I was like, well, what's the baked chicken baked in? And you could see it because it was like sitting in butter. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to get that. And really, I was going down the list, and they had barbecue. I mean, they had a bunch of stuff to eat, but it was all cooked soul food style, and mac and cheese and spaghetti and a whole bunch of stuff that I really wasn't going to be able to eat healthy there. So what I ended up doing, my son Darius pointed out that they had some roast beef, kind of thin sliced roast beef. It was sitting just in its own juices and all that stuff. And then they had some green beans and stuff on the side. So I got those two things and some collard greens as well. And for the most part, everything was great. I know I kept my calorie count because I had about 6 ounces. Once you get used to how much meat you can eat, you can pretty much eyeball it for the most part and stay within range. So I know I had about 6 ounces of thinly sliced beef, and then I had a side serving of those green beans and those collard greens. But the moment I bit into the collard greens, y'all, they were so good, I knew that there was something in there that was probably not healthy for me. Either butter or oil. It was something. Fat back. I don't know what it was. But y'all know how we prepare collard greens. Usually you put some sort of bacon fat back, something in there to give it the flavor. And so I knew right then. I took a couple bites. I was like, yeah, I'm not eating the rest of that. So you'll kind of get used to that. But I was at a point when I was walking through that line where I was like, I'm just not going to eat. I got snacks in the car. I'm just going to go out and grab a snack. We'll get through it. If I hadn't have found that beef, that roast beef, I would have probably done that. So you got to be strong and you got to have some willpower when it gets to those situations. But in that moment, if you know you got a backup snack or you got a backup, lunch or something prepared, then you ain't got to worry about it. If it happens to be that you're sitting there eating one of your own salads, hey, so be it. But you stay with your plan and you don't go backwards. And it's just when you're in the throes of learning new processes and learning a new way of eating, it's better to do that than to cheat and to go backwards. Just because it's new to you and you don't want to mess up while it's really new. It does happen. Things happen. You can get over it. But try to stick as close to the plan as possible. That's one of my biggest takeaways is be positive, plan for your stuff, and don't worry about the anxiety of ordering. Just take your time and plan ahead. You'll get through it. When you're ready to order, then order. And then keep your list of things to ask the waiter about some of the things that are made. And as long as you get used to doing that, some of those things will just become second nature. You'll know what you can have on your salads. You'll know what you can have, how your veggies should be prepared, what you should ask for. All those things will come with time. But until then, write it down. Keep yourself a little list. It'll help a lot when you're going out because you're going to go out. It's not like you're not going to go out. And there's nothing wrong with going out. You can make healthy choices when you're out. Just make sure that you're prepared for it. So with that, let's get to it. So as you guys know, last week, I weighed in on Thursday, because remember I changed the day from Monday to Thursday. I weighed in at 215.4 pounds last Thursday. Now, that weekend, into Monday, we did a lot. We traveled to St. Louis. We did the meet and greet. I did a ton of walking throughout the mall area and stuff like that. So I had an awesome time. But normal stuff, I would be walking if I went to the mall anyway. No exercise, but just the uptick in the walking, it does contribute to what I'm about to tell you. So, as of today, as of this morning, I now weigh 211.6. So, in the last week, I lost 3.8 pounds. I am down from 230.8, 19.2 pounds. So, in 4 weeks, from January 22nd to February 22nd, so a month, in 30 days, I'm down 19.2 pounds. And quite frankly, it has been easy. I mean, it's probably been one of the easiest changes to my eating habits that I've ever done. I've done a lot of them. Like I said, I've done keto, I've done low carb, I have done food lovers fat loss, I've done the fat smash diet, I've done all kinds of things over the years to try to learn healthy eating habits. And it's not to say that any of those are any different or don't work or anything like that. But here's what I'll say to you. You have to find something in eating habits or in a way of eating that fits into your lifestyle. Some people have the time to meal prep and to do a lot of the things that is necessary to stay on a low carb or a keto or any of these other types of eating plans. But for me, I told you guys up front, I'm very busy, so I needed something that I can stick to without having to count a whole bunch of calories, that were kind of just give me an app, give me the calorie counts. And that's the other thing I love about it. I don't count a lot of calories at all. I'm either prepping a meal from their recipe list on that Leaf website that I talk about, and it gives you all the calorie counts, or I'm grabbing one of the snacks, dinners, lunches, breakfasts that are already in the plan, that all I got to do is hit the barcode with the Numi app, and it populates all of my calories for me. And a lot of other things, sort of like what do they call that other app? I can't think of what it is, but it is like FitPal, or y'all know what it is. I can't think of what it is. I used to have it too, because I used to use it and document all my stuff. And it was good because so many people were using it. It had a lot of the things that you might put in there already in calorie count. So you would look it up and it would actually be in there. And I found that the Numi app has been very good with that too. Like when I look up something or I barcode something that is not one of the snacks, like I'll barcode like, Star Kiss, fit, the salmon or the chicken in the little pouch and all that other stuff, and that stuff's all in there. The breads, the pita breads, I barcoded that. It was already in there. So a lot of things are being put in by a lot of people, and that becomes just a big database. So you can put stuff in there, and if you find it, great, and if you don't, you can enter it yourself, and you got it, right? So it works out pretty good from that perspective. But this worked in my lifestyle. I'm fast paced, like I said, so it just made it very easy, very simple to stick to. And as long as I have my snacks and all that other stuff ready and prepared, as long as I do that prep, I'm good. This has been easy. It's been phenomenal. And I'm just losing weight. I'm not even trying. I'm just doing what they tell me to do. Like I said, I'm not doing any exercise. I know for a fact that if I started exercising today, my weight loss would double and triple. I get that. But I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is learn how to better feed my body, how to give myself the nutrients and the things that I need to feel better, have better focus, sleep better, and all those things that you get as a result of eating healthy. That's really what I'm trying to do. And so, as weight loss is definitely a part of that. It's a part of health, and it comes as a positive consequence to eating healthy. And that's all I'm doing right now. I'm just eating healthy. I'm not exercising. I told you guys, when I plateau, when I stop losing weight, then I'm going to go hard in the gym. I'm going to show you guys about 7 exercises that you can do that will build basically every part of your body. And I know you guys will love it. If you can hang out for a little bit until I plateau, I'll give you that, and then we'll start to do some gym routines, and you'll see how my body's changing. You'll see at the end of this video, you're gonna see my week 1 photos and my week 4 photos, and you'll see the difference if you can. I don't know if you noticed already. I definitely noticed. I move quicker. I sleep deeper. There's a big difference in just about everything that I'm doing right now. So if that's something you're desiring to get to, trust me, just losing weight, gets a lot of that done, but that's not what this is all about. It's not just about the weight loss. It's about how you're feeding your body, and that produces that mental clarity and that deeper sleep and the whole thing, because your body is just more efficient. So I have talked a lot already. I pretty much hit all of my points that I wanted to hit. So I talked to you about what my weight loss was. I was 230.8. I am now 211.6. 211.6. I've lost 19.2 pounds. It's awesome. I feel awesome. Stay tuned for the picture update. But right now, we getting ready to make us some brisket chili garnished with some jalapeno peppers. I got the 2 cameras on deck so you can see exactly what I'm doing, and we're gonna chop it up a little bit about when's the best time to let your children meet the person you're dating, or vice versa, let the person you're dating meet your children or be around your children. I got some interesting takes on both sides of that, and I want to hear what you think about the timing. But I don't just want to hear what you think about when's the appropriate time, you know, a month of dating, 3 months of dating, whatever. I really want to hear why. I want to hear your reasoning why you think that time frame is good, and what goes into your thought process when you know that you're getting serious with this person and it's something that you're starting to think about, is when do you let them in to see your children, to talk to your children, and all that other stuff. I want to hear what goes through your mind when all of that happens, because I can tell you what's going to go through my mind, or what would go through my mind, and I don't want to give it all away right now. So let's get into cooking. Let me change the angle on this camera. I'll be right back. I'm thinking about doing a live Ask Nate session about twice a month, possibly making that once a week. Let me know what you think about that. And I'll answer questions on, you know, the technical stuff, from green screening to camera work, lighting, all that kind of thing, as well as, you know, family stuff, spiritual stuff, whatever you want to talk about, I'll answer questions. Let me know if you'd be interested in doing something like that, or me doing something like that. A live question answer, you know, session where you throw the questions at me and I'll answer them as best as I can. I talked to B-Love about this too, my wife, and she's willing to join in if y'all got couples questions or relationship questions or anything like, you know, child rearing questions, anything like that. We'd love to do a live once a week on this channel, or possibly twice a month on this channel. And I want to get your feedback. I want to see if that's something that you would like. So let me know and we'll get it going. All right. Okay, so here we go. We are about to make some brisket chili garnished with some jalapeno peppers. So here's what I got on deck here. I have some fire roasted tomatoes. I have a 15 ounces of those. I got 2 bell peppers cut up. I have a half of an onion. I got a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of chili powder. I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, because we're just gonna brown our brisket first before we throw it in the crock pot. I have some potatoes here. I have some black beans. So I got 1.5 potatoes cut into 1-inch cubes. I have 1.5 cups of black beans. I got just 1 whole jalapeno cut up, tablespoon of oregano, and I got 2.5 teaspoons of minced garlic here, and I got 1 pound of brisket, corned beef brisket. And what I have done is I took that 1 pound, weighed it out, trimmed the fat as best as I could on it, and cut it up into cubes so that we can throw it into this chili. So that's it. That's what we got. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mix our seasonings together. So I have an extra bowl here, and I'm going to just throw the seasonings in here, and we're going to mix it up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sprinkle half of that onto our brisket here. Where's my spoon? Right here. So we're just going to get this mixed in pretty good so that we can, here, I'll let you guys see that. Uh-oh, dropped a little bit. Mix that up a little bit so we can go ahead and season this brisket as we brown it. So I'm going to start up my skillet here, get that ready to go. Get my top to my skillet over here so we can go ahead and brown this. I'll throw my olive oil in here. We'll get this going. Wow. So while that's heating up, y'all tell me, when's the appropriate time to let your spouse meet your children? Here's what goes through my mind, and I had thought about just asking you guys the question and then waiting until the next video to, you know, kind of give my response. And here's what I think about. So I jotted some things down that I wanted to kind of cover with this. And I think the first thing my thought is safeguarding my child, right? So I don't want to just allow, you know, somebody to come into their lives that could harm them in any way, especially since I don't really know the person, right? So as you're getting to know that person, you have to come to a level of trust and have done your homework as well before you are comfortable with even thinking about that. But if you're thinking about it, that means you feel as though you're comfortable enough, or you feel as though it's been long enough that you should be, you know, having that person meet your son or daughter. And I think it goes both ways. I think you do have to, it has to happen. And it has to happen early on in the process, but it cannot happen before you have, you know, full trust and you've done your due diligence to understand who this person is, their temperament, and, you know, what their background is, potential danger, all that kind of stuff. You got to do it. But at some point you have to come to the conclusion, okay, this is the right time to let them in to meet my children. And the reason being is because if you allow a man, for example, I'm going to speak from the man's perspective, if you allow a man to grow with you and to develop a bond of love with you outside of that child, then it sets kind of a false expectation of what the relationship is going to be like. Because the man then thinks, if he doesn't have any children, that this is going to be a just you and him thing, right? And that's not the case. So then if you don't let them in to start building that bond with the child as well, what happens is when you shock them with this, all of a sudden now you have to have this relationship with the child and build a bond with the child. It's like, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for, or this is not what I have been used to for the last, 6 months if you've waited that long. And so I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in, y'all. I think I got this up on medium heat. I'm gonna try to get these in here and start getting them browned, and I'm going to season them as well. I'll set that off to the side here. And I'm going to go take my half of seasoning and I'm just going to sprinkle this on here. Take about half of it. Get it in here. Get it in here. And then I'm going to go take my half of seasoning and I'm just going to sprinkle this on here. Take about half of it. Get it in here. 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 that start to get brown. Throw the top on it. Let that start to get brown. So what it does, like I said, is it gives that man a false sense of how the relationship is going to be. And it also doesn't afford him the opportunity to have a simultaneous bond with the child and you at the same time, which is simultaneous. But and so I think it's unfair to the man to not let him into your child's life at some point. But I think it is critical that as the parent, you do your due diligence, and this goes both ways. It's not just the woman who has a child who is dating a man, but it goes the other way around too. You have to make sure that you've thought about that child. And here's the other point I want to make. Your dating experience is going to become the standard by which your child dates, right? Or courts. And what I mean by that is, if you allow a man, if you're a woman, or whatever the relationships are, if you allow a person to come into your life, in and out, different people during the dating process, then your child will see that as the standard. Okay, just in and out, different people all the time. So whatever it is that you want to set as an expectation for your child, make sure you have those conversations with them. Talk to them. Tell them, hey, I'm dating. This is what dating is like. This is my expectation of a man if I'm going to date them. Fellas, this is my expectation of a woman if I'm going to date them. And have that conversation with your children, providing they're old enough to understand what it is that is happening. Because a lot of times we do things and we think that our kids don't understand. Well, our kids are watching us, and they do understand. So make sure that if they are at the appropriate age, that you're having a conversation with them about what's going on here. What is this dating thing, and safeguard them, but also give them the tools needed so that when they're growing, as they're growing, they know what they should be looking for and how they should be conducting the dating process or the courting process. I think that is so important to when you are going to let someone into that relationship with your child, because they have to build a bond with that child just as they're building a bond with you. You cannot allow them to come into your life and then just, I've been 6 months with you, we've been hanging out, we're having a good time, I've never seen your child, this, that, and the other, and you really have gotten to the point where you're serious. So I won't put a time frame on it, but I will say that there's a couple of things that need to happen. The conversation needs to be had with that person about, what they feel about children, how they interact with children. You should probably try to observe. There's some ways you can kind of put them in situations where they need to interact with children. Look at that. See how they interact. Try to gauge what kind of person they are around children. And utilize that when you're trying to figure out, when's the appropriate time they should be involved in your child's life. I think the other thing is, like I said, just set the expectation with them that, hey, I got a child. If you're going to be with me, you have to love my child. You have to love my child as much as you love me. You have to treat them with respect as you would treat me. And if you can't do that, if you're not game for that, then I don't think that this is going anywhere. That is very important for you to do up front. I'm just going to flip some of these, y'all, so we can make sure that they're pretty even in their brownness. I'm going to keep the top off. Let that fry a little bit. So yeah, I want you guys to tell me, when do you feel like that's what the appropriate time is, and then, what goes through your mind? What's that thought process like? Because as we'll talk about on Monday, y'all know, for those of you that are new to the channel, Mondays are Motivated Mondays, and I like to talk about, things that help us to grow and help us to, become better people, motivate you to do, to kind of take the next step in your life. And so we'll be talking about a topic that I think lots of people go through or lots of people deal with, and they really are just kind of winging it, like we all are. And a lot of times in our life, when we get into certain situations, we don't really have a baseline or, a background to facilitate it properly. So we're really kind of winging it. We're trying to figure it all out in the moments that is life, right? And I think having a blended family or a mixed family is one of those types of things. And I'll save the shout out for the show as to who brought this topic to me, but I want to definitely talk about it, get into it. We are a blended family over here, whether you guys know it or not, and we'll talk about that on the show and some of the challenges that I felt up front and how we got through it, how we worked through it. So stay tuned for Motivated Mondays for that. But back to the show here. What, when, how, what's your thought process on when you let that person meet your child? That's my question to you guys. We're going to get ready to throw some of this stuff in this crock pot over here and get it cracking, get it going. I'm ready to do it. I think we're getting pretty brown over here. So I'm going to take a quick break. And I'm going to throw all this stuff. We're going to throw all this in the crock pot and let it go for about 8 hours. This is going to be, man, it's going to melt in your mouth. I'm telling you. All right, so let's take a quick break. We're going to add our raw onions. We're going to add basically everything you see here to the pot. And we're going to turn it on. So get our garlic in there. The only thing we're not going to add until last is those jalapeno peppers. So we're going to get our potatoes that have been sitting here for a while so they started to brown a little bit. We're going to add our black beans. Our fire roasted tomatoes. And I forgot to mention earlier that I had some low sodium beef broth off to the side here. It was hiding from me, y'all. So I'm going to put 2 cups of low sodium beef broth in here. And we're going to let this go, y'all. We're going to let this go. Get this cracking. I know it's going to have the whole house smelling good. Y'all know how it is when you eat crock pot meals. When you done, oh, I got to put the rest of the seasoning in here, y'all. Can't forget that. Got to get the rest of this seasoning in here. Put some of that in there. I'm going to stir this around. You know you got to get the rest of the seasoning in there. This already look good. I know this is going to be good. After the fact, I might add a little more kick to this recipe. This is the recipe I got off of the Leaf website. But I like my stuff a little spicy, so I might add a little kick. But these onions and all this stuff, all these bell peppers, and it's gonna just add so much flavor to this stew, to this chili. So I am ready for it. I'm ready for it. So when y'all see this chili come out the pot, you will know that it has been 8 hours that has passed, because we're gonna let this simmer on low for 8 hours until it's done. Woo! It's gonna be so good, y'all. But drop me a comment. It ain't over yet. I'm just doing a plug right now, but drop me a comment on when you think it's appropriate and what goes through your mind when you are thinking of letting your long-term serious date meet your child. And with that, stay tuned. I'm gonna show you guys the before and afters, and then after that, I'm gonna get you into some tasting of this Chipotle, not Chipotle, but we're gonna taste this brisket chili, y'all. That's what's gonna happen. So after you see my befores and my afters, them photos, we gonna taste this chili. I'm gonna do more than taste, y'all. I'm gonna have me a serving of some brisket chili, and I'm gonna garnish it off with some of these jalapenos. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in about 8 hours. And 8 hours is gonna happen like that. Alright, as you can see, we're back. It's been an entire 8 hours and my brisket chili is done, ready to be served, and I'm ready to dig in. The only caveat to this that I want to point out is, first off, this recipe is 239 calories per serving. The recipe makes 6 servings. The problem is that on the recipe, it doesn't tell you what a serving is. So I am going to improvise on the serving size. I got a pretty small bowl because I'm thinking that if it's in line with the rest of the serving sizes, it's probably going to be something small. So I'm going to take this and I am going to take this here ladle and I'm going to scoop me out some of this brisket chili, and I'm going to throw some jalapenos on there to garnish it, and we're going to dig in. Got to make sure I didn't miss anything. Shout out to my wife, B Loves Life. If you haven't seen her channel, go check her out. B Loves Life. Most of you guys know her. That's how you know me, a lot of you. So if you don't know her, go check her channel out as well. She helped me get this together and you know, took care of some of the cleaning of my utensils, y'all. So appreciate her very much. Just want to say love you, babe. Alright, let's see. I wanted to tell y'all one more thing. Oh, if you made it to the end of this video, say taste test in the comments. Taste test. Alright, it's time to get it in. I got my bowl. I got my ladle. I got this piping hot chili. I'm gonna have to, man. Now, I ain't gonna turn it off because I want it to keep cooking, but it is definitely done. I just know it's gonna be extremely hot when I go to taste it. So, look at all that, y'all. Look at all that. Let me go ahead and turn this on. Alright, so taste test is on. Ooh, that looks so good. Can y'all see that? That is hearty, hearty, hearty. That's some hearty soup right there. It's chili though, y'all. It's chili. I usually like my chili like thick, you know, with beans and all that other stuff, but I'm into this right now. I'm into this all the way in. I'm gonna keep it at that. So I poured about a half of that bowl. Like I said, they don't really give you like the sizes that you're supposed to get. So I figure if I keep it down, I'll probably be within that if I keep it somewhere around 6 ounces, I think I'm probably in range for that calorie count. So we're going to throw these jalapenos in there, y'all. Get that going. I like spicy, so I'm going to put a few of them in here. Ooh. Maybe one more. Look at that. There you go. Jalapeno garnish, brisket chili. I'm ready to get it in, except for I don't have a spoon. That's a shame. I'll be right back with a spoon, y'all. Gotta have one of these if you want to actually start eating. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the top back on this. Let it chill, simmer. Cause I'm gonna be serving that up to my wife too. She gonna want to eat some too. I'm gonna set this off to the side though. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Stir them peppers in that juice. Let that spice get in there. It smells good, y'all. Potatoes are all tender. So I know we done over here. It smells really good. Alright. We're going to get a bite. Got to get a little potato in there too. I really haven't had a lot of potatoes, y'all. I mean, with, I don't think I had any potatoes since I started this. Because the veggies are, you know, you eat basically the non-starchy veggies. So I really haven't eaten a lot of, I don't think I've had any potatoes at all. So this would be my first in like a month eating a potato. Father, we thank you for this food and drink you're about to receive to nourish my bodies for Christ's sake. Amen. And that brisket is so tender. Y'all, I had to tell you, I added some cayenne pepper. I told you I was going to do it because I wanted it a little bit more spicy. But I'm going to keep the recipe like it is. If you want to add more spice or whatever, you more than welcome to do so. But not everybody likes spice, so I left that out. Ooh. I think I got some of that cayenne in my nose. This is so good. The brisket is super, super tender. Super tender. This is some good chili. It's too hot to hold that bowl though, y'all. I had it for a minute, but it got hot. You know what? I've been eating this stuff for 4 weeks now, and I kid you not, I've had cake, cookies, chocolate covered pretzels, ice cream sandwiches, ice cream bars. I mean, if this is dieting or this is, I'm serious. Like, I have basically eaten, there's none that I haven't eaten. The only thing you really stay away from is, like high calorie stuff, fried foods and all that other stuff you stay away from. But for the most part, like, there's ways to make things taste like that. And they have some very good recipes. This is the third one I made, and each one of them have been good. Mm-hmm. Oh, one more thing. So when you are documenting this in your if you're using the Numi app, it's a very simple thing. You don't have to like put in potatoes, jalapenos, and beef brisket and all that stuff. All you have to do is hit the buttons that are pre-made for you. So you got a SmartCarb and a PowerFuel and a extra buttons or snack button or whatever. There's just buttons, so you don't have to know exactly what they are. You just hit the button. So for this meal, it counts as 1 SmartCarb, 1 PowerFuel, and 1 vegetable. So literally all you got to do is hit the circle that says SC. Hit that once. Hit the PF button and hit the V button, and it will count up 239 calories for you and put it in the app. You done. Good to go. That's all you got to do. They make it very easy. By the way, I just learned that like this week. Because there's so many ways to put things in the app. But if you make one of the recipes, they make it easy. You just click this button, 3 buttons. For the most part, you done. And it's in there and it's counted. Y'all gotta make this. Add them jalapenos. And you in the dough. Whew. I'm telling you guys, you don't even got to be the best cook. You just got to know what you got to know a little bit of how to get around in the kitchen. But it pretty much tells you everything, except for in this case where it didn't tell you the serving size, but most of it is in single serving size. So, at least the ones I've made. That fresh jalapeno adds a lot of flavor and kick. The meat is so tender. Woo! Y'all see I got a little sweat starting. I put that kick in there, y'all. Definitely put a kick in it. But got my water bottle. Oh, if you're doing this and you're trying to get your 64 ounces in a day, easiest way to do it, go grab you one of these 64-ounce water bottles. It is, I don't know, $13, $14 or something at Walmart. You can find them cheaper at Five Below. But grab you one of these, fill it all the way up to the top. Got your 64 ounces. All you got to do is drink the whole thing in one day. When I first started, I didn't drink a whole lot of water, because I drank a lot of other things. And so I found it tough in the beginning drinking 64 ounces. Now I drink 64 ounces and then I go fill it up and I start drinking on it again. So your body gets accustomed to the water. Spilling water on myself. So I'm gonna wrap this video, y'all. Check out these two fellas right here. To my left and to my right. Got my before and my after pics. There you go. 19.2 pounds of weight loss. Incredible. Hope y'all stay with it. Stay encouraged. Don't give up. You're going to get there. And we're going to get there together. I'm ready to go. I can't wait to plateau. I'm literally holding back my exercise wheel, y'all. I'm ready to get it in and start exercising. So look for that to come just as soon as I plateau. All right. Until next time. See y'all later. Peace.